on, and we won't see the poster in here, I was looking for it, alignment. We're looking a little bit more at alignment. And the alignment we can work with within our own practice is called True North alignment. I think it's on the other side of the partition, that poster that has those points to it. And so guess what I want to say before we get started is that I know when I first started practicing, the way I looked at an alignment that did not serve me was like, this is the right way to do a pose. This is the only way. This is the right way. And what I've come to understand and want to share with you and make possible for you in your practice this morning is that alignment isn't about doing it right. It's not the right way, but it's a way of inviting your whole body, all the muscles to wake up and all the tight spots to open up, so that by the time you're done practicing today, you are firing on all cylinders, mentally, physically, muscularly, all your joints are open and ready to go. And it just ensures that as you go through the practice, that you're experiencing a well-rounded experience throughout the whole practice. So you'll take it in whatever way makes sense to you. Adapt as you need to adapt throughout. Rest when you need to rest, right? It's not right or wrong, or you're having your practice. And this piece of alignment will just kind of give us this ability to build new strength and open up congested spots. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to do that in tabletop position, tabletop. So you'll sit up on all fours, hands right underneath your shoulders. Knees directly underneath your hips. Toes can be tucked or untucked. That's up to you. And with an inhale, stretch your chest forward, look forward. And with an exhale, tuck your chin to your chest and round your spine, belly button towards your spine. Inhale, heart forward, look forward. Exhale, tuck your chin and round. So you'll just keep going with your own breath in these cat dog tilts. And as you're moving and breathing, just get a sense of how your body is feeling this morning. And if you're like my body, your body's like my body, and like most bodies, you'll be feeling that there's probably some rougher, stickier edges, spots that are moving well, spots that are not moving so much. And just feel what is so for one more round. And then come back to tabletop position. So neutral spine. Tuck your toes into the mat. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, lift your knees to downward facing dog. Hips go up and back. Good. From downward facing dog, slide out to high plank. Good. So right away, we're going to fire some stuff up. Hands right underneath your shoulders. Yep. So pitch your shoulders forward enough that you have that stack. Yep. Right over top of your hands. And then balls of the feet to the floor. So if you're on your toes, press your heels back enough. Yep. That you've got the balls of your feet connecting to the earth. Now press all 10 fingers down. Some of you could open your fingers up wider and get more spread across your hands. Press down through your feet. And as you press down through your hands and your feet, pull the pit of your belly up against your lower back. Good. Breathe. As the pit of your belly lifts up, soften your upper back down between your shoulders. Yeah. And what you'll start to notice, what I'll get when I get this alignment piece, is my abdominal muscles set on fire. Good. Pull the front of your pelvis forward towards your belly button. Pull the pit of your belly up towards your spine and soften your upper back like that. There. Now take 3 more breaths. You feel some more abdominal action. Yeah. 2 more breaths. Pubic bone to belly button, Kathy. So get the, yeah. Take 1 more breath in. Downward facing dog. Press it back. Yeah. You can bend one knee, bend the other knee. Take 1 more breath in. Blow all the air out. And then look forward and step up to the top of your mat. At the top, inhale, lift halfway up. and pause. We're going to do this quite a few times this morning, so let's get this good. Bend your knees until you can feel your heels ground into the mat. Yep, your hands can be on your shins. That's a good spot. Your hands could be on the floor. Kathy's hands are on her hips. Those are all good placements. And as you find your hand placement, press your heels down, press your butt back, and press the top of your head forward. And as you do that, look for the same feeling of your abdominal muscles that you had in that plank position. So can you have it that your pubic bone pulls forward to your navel, the pit of your belly pulls up towards your spine, yeah, good, and then your upper back softens down between your shoulder blades. And now breathe 2 more breaths, getting all the length out of your spine that you can. Take 1 more breath in and forward fold. Belly to your thighs, drop your head all the way down for 1 breath in. 1 breath out, relax as much as you can. And then press down through your feet, come rolling all the way up to stand. Extended mountain pose, reach your arms up, look up, take a full breath in, and exhale, hands to heart center. Set your eyes to a point, set an intention for your practice, and we'll begin with 3 ohms. Take a breath in. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, bend your knees, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up, create that long spine, lift the pit of your belly up, and then plant your palms, step back, high to low push up. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, back downward facing dog. Take a breath in and blow it out. Inhale, exhale. Take 1 more breath in, blow all the air out, look forward, and then move your feet up to your hands. Lift halfway up with the inhale and fold, exhale. Press down through your feet, reach up, extended mountain pose, big breath in, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up, exhale to low push up. Upward facing dog, press back, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths. Soften your elbow joints and soften your knee joints. So you'll bend your elbows a little bit, bend your knees a little bit, and settle down into your hands, all 10 fingertips, settle down into the balls of your feet. So feel that connection. Take a breath in, blow all the air out, move your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift, keep your knees a little bit bent, and fold. Extended mountain pose, reach all the way up, and exhale, fold. Bend your knees a lot as you move. Inhale, lift halfway up, keep your knees a little bit bent, low push up, take it back. Upward facing dog, press back, downward facing dog. Good. 3 breaths, soften your joints. Good. 2 more breaths. Last breath in, blow all the air out, feet to your hands. Halfway lift up and fold. All the way reach up, feet down, hands high, forward fold. Halfway lift up, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. 2 more breaths. Last breath in, empty completely, move your feet to your hands. Halfway lift, fold. Extended mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift up, low push up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 3 breaths, 2 more sun salutation A's. 2 more breaths. Really just focusing on getting air in, moving air out. Last breath in. Empty completely. Move your feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Press your seat back, your crown forward. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 2 more. Last breath in. Blow it out. Move your feet to your hands. Half lift. Fold. Extended mountain pose. Stretch all the way up to your fingertips. Fold. Halfway lift up. Press out through the top of your head. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Good. Take 1 breath in. Blow all the air out. Feet to your hands. Lift halfway up and fold. Pause. Pause here. So now in the pause, set your feet at 12 o'clock. So your feet are parallel to each other. Reach up, catch the sides of your hips with both hands. So you're still folded. Knees are bent a lot. Your feet are set. Your hands are on your hips. From right in this position, bend your knees as deep as you can. So you're coming into your seat. Your belly's connected to your thighs still. Bend your knees and press your pelvis back behind you. So you're pressing your heels down. You're gathering your leg strength. Now from your deep seat, stretch your chest forward to move your chest off your thighs. And you're only going to go so high as you feel open through your low back. So for me, that's pretty much like a 45-degree angle with my spine coming up from my pelvis. Good. Once you've got that, your hands could stay right here and take your elbow tips back. Hold that. So chair pose, this is your leg aspect of it. Lift your 10 toes up. Drive your 2 heels down. Feel for your butt muscles to fire up against the bottom of your pelvis. Good. If you want, like Sarah, you could reach your arms up alongside your ears and add the overhead reach. Good. Take 3 more breaths. 2 more. 1 more breath in, and then fold belly to your thighs. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale to low push up. Upward facing dog. Press back, downward facing dog. Step your right foot to your right thumb, warrior 1. So we'll be here for 5 breaths. So again, hands back down to your hips. Beautiful. Now, from this position, your hips will not square up, which is okay. Draw your left hip forward as much as it will go, but they're not going to be perfectly square. Don't worry about that part. Press your back heel down. Press your front heel down and stretch your front knee over the center of your front heel. So go for the deep lunge. Stack your front knee over your front heel. Now, from this position, lift the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button. Yeah. Feel for the stretch, the opening along the front of your left thigh, your left hip. Take 1 more breath in, and then hands to the floor, low push-up. Step back. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot to your left thumb, warrior 1. And so hands to your hips. The default will be that your pelvis will be very open to the side. So steer your pelvis forward as much as you can without it having to be perfect. Then lunge deep. Drive your feet into the floor. Hug your leg muscles to the bone. Now lift the front of your pelvis up towards your navel. Good. Breathe and continue to gather the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button as you drive your back foot into the floor. Take 1 more breath in. Hands to the earth, low push-up, step back. Just going to feel your body as you move now. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Open up your mouth. 2 more breaths in and out. 1 more breath in. Blow all the air out. Look forward. Move your feet to your hands. So we're just going to flow now. Lift halfway up and fold. Chair pose. You could grab your hips or reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, warrior one. Hands to your hips or stretch your arms up high. Low push up. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left side, warrior one. One breath to press down, lift up. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths, one more sun B. 2 more breaths. Last breath in. Blow all the air out. Move your feet to your hands. Half lifts. Fold. Chair pose. Fold. Halfway lift up. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Step. Press down through your heels. Fingertips high. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side warrior one. Step. Take a full breath in. Low push up. Really good. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Down dog. Take a full breath in. Blow all the air out. And with the next inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Up and back. Good. Now, I'll preface this with, if you need to drop your bottom knee for support, do that. If you need to drop to your forearms, your wrists don't love this, do that. So you can adapt the form at any time. Wherever you are now, bend your bottom knee a little bit and bend your top knee a little bit. So both knee joints are bent. With that position, turn your lifted toes to point straight down towards the floor. So so keep, some of you can think you know where you're going, so we're not going there, right? So locate your lifted toes, so that's your top 5 toes, and turn all 5 of those toes to point down towards the floor. As you do that, keep your pelvis level with the floor. Yeah. Now, keep this orientation with your leg and your hips. Press your foot up as high as you can get it to go, but don't externally rotate. So keep that internal rotation, and take your foot up straight up. Yes. So what you're likely to feel is your right butt cheek starts to fire up a little bit. Now, you stay here. Go a little higher with your leg. How high can you get your leg to go without rolling your hip open? So that's the alignment piece. Can you hold your pelvis level, and how high can your thigh go? Something starts to wake up as you do that. Now, with that height, can you straighten your top leg? Yeah, and play with that. If you need to drop your knee, right, drop it. If you need to drop your forearms, drop it. Take one more breath where you're at, and then exhale, foot to the floor. Big toes together, heels go right, left hand goes high, side plank. So you can drop a knee. As you come into your side plank, you could keep your legs straight. You could lift your top leg up towards the ceiling. Good. Bring your top hand forward towards the wall you can see until you have a stack. So this is like towards the right edge of your mat. Press down through your bottom hand and foot. Stretch up through your top arm, breathe in, and then 2 hands to the floor, low push up. Upward facing dog. Yeah, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and blow the air out. Good. Lift your left leg up and back. So a lot of times you'll find, a lot of people will be like, well, the alignment makes the practice harder. What you'll find is what's happening is muscles and things are waking up that just weren't awake when you first walked in. And the waking up process can be riveting. Right? Bend your top knee a bit, bend your bottom knee a little bit. Now turn your lifted 5 toes to point down towards the floor. So this is internal rotation through your top thigh. As you do that, the temptation is to drop the left hip, but don't. Keep your hips level as you turn that leg up. Now take that foot as high to the ceiling as you can go, but keep internally rotating. That's it. Can you go higher? Yeah, good. Once you've got as high as you can go, can you straighten the back leg? Pull this hip towards the front of your mat. Yes, yes. Good. Now 2 more breaths. Press back through your top heel. Take 1 more breath in. Left foot to the floor. Big toes touch. Heels go left. Right arm goes high. Side plank. Good. Bring your top hand towards the right long side of your mat to stack. Yeah. Now press your bottom hand down. Lift your top arm high. Take a full breath in. 2 hands to the floor. Low push-up. Good, Sarah. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Open your mouth and blow it out. Good morning. Here we are. Good morning. You got out of bed for something, and we're going to get it this morning. Step your right foot to your right thumb. Crescent lunge. Crescent lunge. Cool. Hands to your hips. A lot of you did that, and I love it. So as you catch your hips, hands to your hip points, and thumbs towards the back of your pelvis where the dimples are at. Now bend your back knee. Bend quite a bit. And in the bend, lift the front of your pelvis up until your pelvis is neutral. So it's like the bowl of your pelvis. The water in the bowl would stay in the bowl, not spill forward or backward. Keep that. And you'll keep it by pulling the front of your pelvis up to your belly button. So as you do that, now press your back heel back. Ooh, and I can feel the whole front of my left hip stretching and all the muscles on the back of that leg firing. Keep pulling the front of your pelvis forward. So bend your back knee again. Yep. And pull this part of your pelvis like that. Lock that. Now press your back heel back like that. Good. Take 2 more breaths. Bring your front knee over your front heel. Take 1 more breath in, Carolyn and everyone. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Tip forward. Twist to the right side. Good. Crescent twist. Squeeze your back knee up now. Squeeze all the muscles on your back leg up against the bone. So hug from skin to muscle to bone in on your back thigh. Take 2 more breaths. 1 more breath in. Blow all the air out. Inhale back up. Crescent lunge. Open up to warrior 2. Good. Feet on a tightrope. So front foot at 12 o'clock, pointing straight ahead. Check your front foot and turn the toes to point straight up towards the top of the mat. And set your feet on that tightrope. So from your front heel to the arch of your back foot, you have 1 line. Take your back foot and step it to the right edge. That's it. Now lunge deep. Stretch your front knee over your front heel. Keep going for it, Josh. Good. Turn your back toes forward a little bit more. Yeah. As your front knee stretches forward, keep pressing your back foot down to counter as your knee goes forward. Keep going. Keep going. Go for the deep lunge. Angie, go for the deep lunge. Drive your back foot down. Fire up your back leg. Take 1 more breath. Tilt, extended side angle. Keep the knee bend. Yeah. Keep the deep lunge. Press your back foot into the floor. Hug your back thigh up towards the ceiling. So as you press down, hug this leg up. Now stretch your front knee forward. Keep this pressing up as your front knee goes forward. Yeah. Press this foot down. That's your key. Press your back foot down. The big toe mound of the back foot. Good. The heel of the back foot. Drive both those down. Now squeeze the back inner thigh up towards the ceiling and stretch your knee forward. And breathe. Yes, be in the experience of vitality and energy surging through your legs. 1 more breath in. 2 hands to the floor, low push-up. Flow upward facing dog. Press downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Blow all the air out. Beautiful. Step your left foot forward, crescent lunge. Bend your back knee. So I had one of my teachers, I think it was Luca, that had this saying that to get to the city of pelvis, you have to go to the town of knee, which means that you have got to soften your knee joints if there's any hope of getting your pelvis to move around. So bend your back knee and use that to situate the front of your pelvis up and create a neutral pelvis. Once you have that, now drive your heel back, but keep your pelvis the way that you set it. And feel what happens in your legs. It's a whole different story. Take 2 more breaths right there. 1 more breath in. Bring your hands to heart center, tip forward, and twist to the left side. Squeeze your back knee up towards the ceiling now. So your pelvis is tipped forward. You don't need the knee bend anymore. Press your back big toe mound down into the floor and press the top of your head forward away from your back foot. Good. Now 2 more breaths. 1 more breath in. Stay for the out. Inhale up, crescent lunge, and open up warrior 2. Good. So feet on the tightrope. Front foot at 12 o'clock. Your back toes are pointing at 9 o'clock. Press your back foot down. Jen, go a little bit longer in your stance. Jordan, go a little bit longer in your stance. Go big in your stance here. Now drive your back foot down the big toe mound and the center of the back heel. As you press, you're going to feel your right thigh moves away from the floor. They just go together automatically. Keep that and stretch your front knee forward. Yeah. So not your arms, your knee. Yeah. Keep pressing your right thigh back behind you and stretching your front knee forward to reach over your heel. Yes. Now breathe. Take 1 more breath in. Keep that lunge. Tilt, extended side angle. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Press your front heel down. Last breath in. And 5. Hands to the floor, low push up. Good. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Blow all the air out. Look forward. Step or float feet to your hands. Lift halfway up. And fold. Chair pose. Good. Lift your 10 toes. Spread your 10 toes. All the toes. Baby toe, second to last toe, third toe, second toe, big toe. Lift all the toes. Spread all the toes. So wake up your feet. Yeah, Jen, really spread your toes. Yeah. Now, settle your heels down deep. Good. Set your hips back. Take the deep seat. Bring your hands to heart center. Breathe in. Prayer twist to the right. Left elbow either inside your left thigh or outside your right knee. Look down at your feet. Lift your toes back up. Press both heels evenly into the floor, left and right even. Now 2 more breaths. 1 more breath in. Stay for the out. Inhale, chair pose, reach up and fold. Fingers to toes, forward fold. So let's do this. As you fold, bend your knees a lot. Rather than catching your big toes, don't reach out, catch your baby toes. These are the suckers that don't tend to come off the floor. So reach out and peel your baby toe up off the floor a little bit. Press the big toe mound down, so feel some weight in the big toe side. Feel some weight in your heels, then drop your head and your spine. It's going to feel that you're tipping your weight in towards the big toe mounds of each foot. Take 1 more breath in. Blow it out. Now keep that, come all the way back up, chair pose. Keep the baby toes lifting up away from the floor. Then hands to heart center, tip forward and twist to the left side. Look down at your feet and see, feet at 12 o'clock, all 10 toes lifted. Settle the weight back into your heels. 3 more breaths. Good, Jackson, take your knees wide over your heels. Good, 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. Inhale, chair pose. And fold all the way down. Gorilla pose. You can slide your hands under the soles of your feet. This is one of those sneaky, awesome poses where you're getting to stretch out your wrists. We've been doing a lot of planks and chaturangas. You also get to stretch out the tissue on the soles of your feet that kind of make it hard for your toes to lift up and your feet to really spread on the floor. And so really work your hands under there deep if you can. Be willing to bend your knees a lot if you need to. And then drop your head all the way down. Let your head be heavy. Take a breath in. Blow all the air out. And then step off your feet. Catch your hips with your hands. Ground down through both feet. And on the inhale, come rolling up to stand. At the top, reach up, stretch high. And exhale, eagle pose. Bring your feet together. Wrap your right leg over your left. Pause here with your hands on your hips. Yeah, so standing foot at 12 o'clock, pointing straight ahead. Look down at your bottom foot. Some of us have kind of got turned out. Some of us are turned in. So can you get your foot to point straight ahead in front of you? And then lift your standing toes up. Settle the weight back into your standing heel. Take one more breath. And then step down, change sides. Left leg up and around. Hands on your hips. So be intentional in the foundation that you're setting up for this pose, with your standing foot being at 12 o'clock. Lift the 5 toes to the best of your ability. And even if you're lifting out one more toe than you had before, that's good. Subtle weight back into your standing heel. Take a breath in and a breath out, and then step down. From standing, lift your right knee up to hip height and set your standing foot to 12 o'clock. A key for me is bending my standing knee enough that my heel can settle into the floor. When my knee locks, I lose my heel connection. So that might be true for you. Then lift your knee up higher, but keep your hips at the same level. So there'll be that temptation to hike. Cool. Keep your hips level. Lift your right leg higher. So if you get to a height where your hip starts to hike, that's your stopping point. One more time. Can you go any higher with your thigh? Keep it there, and now open your leg out to the right. Hip points straight ahead, hips level to the floor. Good. Josh, drop your right hip down, level with your left hip. So not your thigh, but your hip. So that right hip down, can you keep the thigh up as your hip goes down? Yeah. Yeah. Take one more breath in. It's different, right? And then come back to center. Hug your right knee up into your chest. Airplane pose. Send your right leg back behind you. Catch your hips with your hands. Step 1, check your standing foot at 12 o'clock. And then your back foot, turn all 5 of the toes down towards the floor. Last step, both hip points point straight down towards the floor. Good. Now, keeping that alignment, can you lift your back leg higher without lifting your right hip up? Take 2 more breaths. Angie, turn your right hip down. Then can you lift the back leg any higher? That's it. 1 more breath in. 2 feet to the floor, stand up. Take a breath in, blow it out, and we're going to do the other side. Catch your hips. Lift the left side. So like I spent years doing all the crazy bendy, twisty stuff in yoga and found that it's just this, like this changed my body. Getting my foot behind my head didn't do a whole lot, but getting my hips to stay and waking that muscle up changed the quality of my low back. It changed the way that I live. So that as you come in and set up that alignment, it doesn't take these huge gross movements. It come in and set yourself up in a line and allow your body to wake up through that alignment. So 12 o'clock, your standing foot. And that's going to already cause something, right? Like my foot starts burning. and my outer hip starts burning. And that might just be the case. Square your hips up, hips are level. Now, how high can you get that leg? Good, give that a moment, give that a breath, and then see, can you keep your hips and get the leg any higher? And then one more time, can you keep your hips and get the leg any higher? I'm feeling like my hip flexors and my abdominal muscles working. Keep it and go out to the side. So the temptation is for your hip to hike or swing back. Keep your hips right where they're at. Just 3 more breaths. Can you take your leg any further back without moving your hips? Take 1 more breath in and come back to center. Hug your knee up into your chest. Get like a little rest. And then take your left leg back behind you. Hip points down. Soften your standing knee. Turn your back toes down towards the floor. So that internal rotation. Now the temptation will be to hang out here. Spin this down. Yeah. Yeah. Once you have the alignment though, can you keep your hips and take the back leg higher? So rather than turning out, keep this and go up. Good. Flex your back foot. So flex other way. Yep. And now take that heel up higher. Yes. Take 1 more breath in. 2 feet to the floor. Good. Stand. Take a breath. Blow all the air out. Tree pose. Right foot to your left inner thigh. Hands to heart center. Standing foot at 12 o'clock. So bring rigor to the way you set up your pose. Standing foot at 12, look down. Look down and set your foot at 12. Good. Now hands to heart. Press your left thigh into your right foot into your left thigh. Hip points level and square to the floor. So many of you bring your right hip more forward. Right hip more forward. Good. Keep that, your hips pointing forward, and then pull your right knee back. So you might feel your right butt cheek now start to work and fire up. Keep all those elements. Now stretch your arms up high. Ground down through your standing heel. Zip up through the pit of your belly. Reach all the way out through your 10 fingertips or your palms. Take a breath in and step down. Change sides. Tree pose left side. The temptation is to just kind of swing everything around and nothing really kind of opens or happens. Set your standing foot up. Press your foot and thigh together. And now hip points towards the front of the room. So I find like my knee is pointing a lot more forward than I would imagine it would. Once you have that, then can you draw your knee back? Once you have that, then reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Press down through your standing heel. Lift up through the sides of your body. Extend out through your fingertips. Open all your fingertips up. Take a big breath in. And then 2 feet to the floor. Beautiful. From the top of your mat, set your feet. Inhale, reach up. Extended mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot between your hands. Triangle pose. So right foot between your hands. Right hand outside your right ankle on a block for most of us. So front foot at 12 o'clock. Turn your front toes to point straight ahead. Yes. Soften your front knee. Press your front big toe mound into the floor. Press the center of your front heel into the floor. Now turn your front inner thigh forward. Yeah. Keep pressing your whole foot. As you externally rotate your front thigh, hug your right sitting bone back behind you. So from your right big toe mound back through your sitting bone, get as long and open as you can. Now take 3 more breaths. You can stretch your right shoulder forward to open up the space along the right side of your waist. Take one more breath in. 2 hands to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. 1 breath in, 1 breath out. Step your left foot between your hands, triangle pose. So step 1, front foot at 12 o'clock. Sarah, go longer with your stance. So take your back foot back like 3, 4, 5 inches. Yeah. Step 2, soften your front knee so you can get to the town of pelvis. Right? So you're softening your front knee enough that your pelvis can move as it needs to. Now press your front big toe mound down and draw your right sitting bone towards the space behind you. Stretch the top of your head forward towards the wall in front of you. So try here, and that might be too high, but that's okay. Soften here. Yep. Press this down, and keeping this soft, you're going to draw your right sitting bone back. Yep. Now straighten your back leg. Straighten your back leg. Yeah. So see how much like the longer stance can help. Last step, take your right arm high. Good. From the press of your back heel, this is Carolyn and everyone, stretch your top head forward and up. So head away from your back foot. Take one more breath in. 2 hands to the floor, step downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Slide out to high plank and lower all the way down to the floor. Tuck your toes into the mat. Set your hands directly outside your bottom rib. So like chaturanga hands, we'll leave them here. Press your feet into the mat and then stretch your chest forward, locust pose. So there's no effort from your hands. Lift your hands up, see that you don't need them at all. They're not doing anything, but just kind of planted next to you. So from right here, press your pubic bone and your hip points down into the floor. Breathe here. Take 2 more breaths. 1 more breath in and lower it all the way down, right ear to the mat. Take a breath in, a breath out, and then sit up again. Locust pose. Tuck your toes into the mat. Peel your chest forward and up. Press your hip points and pubic bone down into the floor. Now leave your pelvis exactly as it is. Hip points pressing, pubic bone pressing. Keep your toes tucked. Can you lift your feet up off the floor? So check if your pubic bone went down more, if your pubic bone went up more. Keep hip points and pubic bone on the floor. Can you lift your feet higher? And then one more time. Can you lift your feet higher, keeping your toes pointing straight down towards the floor and lower it all the way down, left ear to the mat. Get a breath in, blow the air out. Floor bow, bend your knees, reach back, catch the top of your ankles. Pause. So you can do this one side at a time or both sides at the same time. Flex your ankles. So head to the floor. We're not there yet. Flex your ankles like you're standing on the floor. So flex your ankle joints. Cool. Now with your ankles flexed, turn your feet so that your toes point towards the ceiling. So this is happening from your whole thigh. Knees hug in towards center. You're pressing your big toes up to turn your whole feet to point towards the ceiling. Now, press your feet straight up. That's it. Relax through your arms, relax through your chest, yep, and press through your feet. So push into my hands, let your upper body relax as much as possible. Yeah, even more, Kate, even more. Let your shoulders relax. The work is here. Take 3 more breaths, 2 more breaths, 1 more breath in, and lower it all the way down. Really good. Wag your tail side to side. And set it up again, floor bow. Bend your knees. This might be the other side. Feet on 12 o'clock. Good, Kathy. Press your big toe mounds up towards the sign the other way. Go the other way. That's it. Then Kathy and everyone, kick your shins back. Press your feet straight up like they're stamping on the ceiling. Take 3 more breaths. As much as your legs work, let your upper body relax. Take 1 more breath in and lower it all the way down to the floor. Really good. Wag your tail side to side. Then plant your hands beside your lowest ribs, all 10 toenails to the floor. On the inhale, peel up, upward facing dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Drop to your knees. Half camel. So standing on your knees, step your right foot forward, foot at 12 o'clock. Tuck your back toes and set your back foot at 12 o'clock. So if you look back, your foot is vertical relative to the floor and the ceiling. Hands to your hips, set your hip points straight ahead, and then lift the front of your pelvis up to your navel to create a neutral pelvis. Cool. So now you can stay here, elbows come back, and lift your chest up. Option 1. Option 2 is that your hands go to your bum to help lengthen your tail down as you lift your chest up. Option 3 is that your left hand reaches back to catch your left ankle. That could be both hands. That's too much for me. Could be one hand or both hands. Continue to pull the front of your pelvis up to your navel. Press your upper back up through your chest. If it feels right, let your head relax back. Take 2 more breaths. 1 more breath in. With the next inhale, press your feet down, lift your chest up and out, and downward facing dog, press it back. Breath in. Yeah, really good. Breath out. And then drop to your knees. We'll do the other side. So before we go, watch me real quick. Something I'm seeing is that a lot of us are twisting back to get to this leg. So what the alignment that we're working is your hip points stay straight and your shoulders stay even. So as I go back, if I'm here reaching back, I might not be able to, I can catch like here, but my shoulder stays as I go back rather than letting everything go. Okay, so start with your setup, front foot at 12, back foot at 12, neutral pelvis, you're here, and then set it up. Lift straight up, relax your shoulders back, chest up, then try the bum, see if that can help you edge back a little bit more, and then go for the heel, but do not let your right shoulder drop back behind you. Yep, so Damien, you're twisting back a little bit, stay with the butt. Yeah. How often do you hear that? That was a weird thing to say. Breathe. Good. Your access to more back is lifting the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button. Take 1 more breath in. Stay for the out. Inhale your chest up and out of the pose. Downward facing dog. Press it back. That was good, Kathy. That was it. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Look to your hands. Step or float to a seat. Lie onto your back. Good. Bridge pose. As you lie back, bend your knees. Plant your feet hip width distance apart. And then press your feet down to lift your hips up. Good. Feet at 12 o'clock. So for many of you, heels wider, just your heels. Toes in towards the center. So Jackson, turn your toes in towards the center of your mat. Yep. Perfect. Press the center of your heels down. Press the big toe mound. Jordan, more big toe mound into the mat. Yep. Good. And now lengthen your tailbone towards the front of your mat. Lengthen your tailbone towards the front of your mat. Many of you drop your hips a couple inches, drop them down. So do that. Drop your hips down a couple inches and lengthen your tailbone forward. Yeah. And breathe right there. You probably feel your legs. You probably feel some space in your low back. That's a good sign. You can stay right here or take this now into wheel pose. We'll do one. You can plant your hands on either side of your shoulders, wide and deep. And then press all the way up. And even in the all the way up, keep your feet at 12 o'clock. Lengthen your tailbone towards the front edge of your mat. For 5, really good. Nice, Jackson. 4, 3, Angie, heels wider. Heels wider. Yep. 2, and 1. Tuck your chin, come all the way down, Supta Baddha Konasana. Really good. Feet together, knees wide. Get still for a moment and feel what you feel. One of my favorite descriptions of yoga, or what we do in yoga, is it's an effort towards effortlessness. And there's often a glimpse in this one moment, this one pose, of what that means. Like all the effort you put in, the work you put in, all of a sudden now your body has a new degree of effortlessness, where your breath moves a little easier. Maybe your hips feel a little bit more fluid. Your shoulders are relaxing away from your ears and you didn't even know it. And bring your knees together, hug them into your chest for dead bug pose. Good. Shoulder blades to the mat and back of the pelvis to the mat. So if you're curling up, catch your calves or the back of your thighs instead of your feet. And take your knees wider. So knees are wider than your waist. Yeah. Jackson, go wider with your knees. Yep. You can even go wider than that. Take a breath in. Blow the air out. Hug your knees back in towards your chest. Rock and roll forward and back. 1, 2, 3. And on the third one, downward facing dog. Okay. From downward facing dog, half pigeon. And now listen close. As you set up your half pigeon, bring your right knee behind your right wrist, your ankle towards your left. Pause before you drop your hip. So you're in like a plank, prepping for half pigeon. Come into this position. Actually do this a couple times. So from plank, just kind of move your leg up like you're going to go to half pigeon. So what I want you to feel is that your pelvis is not moving. So get your pelvis to stay steady as you set your leg. And then as you set up, drop your back knee, and that's it. So no squirming your back leg back or anything like that. This is it. Now the way down is to settle both hips towards the back of your mat. So you can see mine doesn't go down a whole lot. I feel okay without a block. If you're here and this does not feel okay, put a block underneath your hip. Okay? And then once you're there, you can be on your hands. You can drop to your forearms, whatever feels best. And settle your weight evenly back between both hips. All right, I'm going to adjust you a little bit. Shift your weight out this way. Good. And scooch this leg up. So go right here. If it's too much, you can pop this underneath your hip. That feels okay, you can stay. Okay. Go a little wider with your leg. That's it. Right there. Does that feel okay, Damien? Yeah. Up a little bit. There. Does that feel okay, Angie? Okay. Okay, I'm going to adjust your leg a little bit. Scooch up right there. Now you can tuck your toe, can help you not slide, and subtle weight back this way. Yeah. You feel different there? Yep. Take 3 more breaths. I'm going to scooch you a little bit, Jen. Right here. Now tuck your back toes. That'll help you not slide. You can drop this knee and settle weight back this way. There you go. You feel that little like tight pocket right there. Breath in. Breath out. Plant your hands. Take it back. Downward facing dog. And then from your down dog, take your left leg high, come into that plank, and say 3 times, do the leg like you're going to go into half pigeon. So you bring your knee behind your left wrist, your ankle towards your right, and then go back up. So you're just getting your pelvis is not moving. And then as you set your leg, drop straight down. Don't squirm back. Don't adjust. Stay right where you're at to the best of your ability. And then go from here. So both hips evenly. You can even kind of feel weight left, weight right. Both hips stay even. Maybe you get to your forearms. Maybe you can get all the way down forehead to the mat. What it might tell is if I check on you, if I feel like twisting in my low back, that's usually my tell I'm not quite there. Take this leg a little bit wider. Yep. And I'll shift weight back this way. There. Does that feel okay? Yeah. You feel twisty. Yeah. So this is the action you're looking for. And it's just tight. So your hip's not quite letting your torso go this way, but it will. All right, Carolyn, I'm going to scoot your back leg up a little bit. Right here. And then take this knee out wider over here. Yeah. Bring this ankle up here. So this ankle is going to swing up this way. Yeah. That's it. Now, that's probably too high. Bring it back a little bit. Good. Now, there you go. Now you'll steer here. One more time, I'm going to scoot you up. Right there. There you go. Okay, you good there? Now, if you're ready, you can take your elbows wider. Yeah, you can even reach your arms forward. Are we looking at home? Looking good. Take 3 more breaths. One more breath. And then walk up to your hands, swing your right leg forward, lie onto your back. All the way back, hug your right knee into your chest, stretch your left leg forward. And then kick your right leg up to the ceiling and catch behind your right thigh. So we're going to release your hamstring in a slightly different way. So as you catch the back of your thigh, both hips to the floor, the back of your pelvis is level. Press your right thigh forward into your hands, and with your hands pull back against your right thigh. So like your leg is kicking and your arms are not letting your leg kick. Now press your right heel up towards the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend your right knee, hug your right knee up into your shoulder, right shoulder. Good. And then switch sides. Right leg long, hug your left knee up. Take a moment to level the back of your pelvis. Right side and left side are both on the floor. And then take your left leg up, catch behind your left thigh, press your leg into your hands, and then pull your hands against your leg. Now kick your left heel up towards the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, press, kick, 2, and 1. Hug your right knee into your chest. Hug your left knee into your chest. Good. Tee your arms, drop your knees to the right, look off to the left, take a twist. And then come back through center, drop your knees to the left, look off to the right. You're welcome. And then come back to center, Supta Baddha Konasana. Take a moment to even align yourself here. So if there is a lot of space under your low back, you can use your hands to reach down, grab your cheeks, the cheeks that are behind you, and scooch them towards the front edge of your mat. You could reach up, catch the base of your skull with your hands, and lengthen the base of your skull towards the back of your mat. And then once you've created yourself as stable, relaxed, aligned, take a full breath in, open your mouth, let it go, and then straighten your legs, Shavasana. There's a cool eye towel in the upper corner of your mat. If it's not there yet, it's coming and I'll place it in your hand for you. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. And gently hug your knees up into your chest and roll to your side. And from your side, press yourself up to a seated position. Bring your palms together over the center of your heart. Ground down through your sitting bones and lift up through a tall, light spine all the way up and out through the crown of your head. And feel the alignment of your spine, a certain and a new degree of alignment and ease and awakeness through your spine that you've cultivated over the last hour. And in this moment, even just capture any new insight, any wisdom that you gleaned through your own experience of the practice today that you can carry with you throughout the rest of the day to inform how it is that you want to show up and what you want to bring into the spaces that you enter. And then from there, we'll close with one final Om. Take a deep breath in. Bring your thumb knuckles to the center of your forehead. Take a deep breath in. And together we say, Namaste. Namaste. Great job this morning, everybody. Thank you so much for waking up and for showing up. And hopefully something else woke up through the process of practicing this morning. If you have questions, feel free. Otherwise, have a great rest of your Tuesday.